Hi Libra, how are you? Welcome to your September 2017 reading. Thanks so much for being here. Also, happy birthday to all you September Libras out there as well. So let's go ahead and get started. You've got a lot of activity going on in the house of your subconscious, which tells me that you need to get into that basement of yours and start cleaning up, okay? With cleaning out the things that are no longer serving you, cleaning out the bad relationships, cleaning out the toxicity in your life, and to ensure that you're not allowing, we've got a lot going on in the 12th house of Virgo, okay? It's about work. So work is going to be needed here. You're not going to be able to be lazy this month. And it's all opposing this Neptune in Pisces, which is in your 6th house, house of health and service. So we've got this need for boundaries, all right? And you've got stuff to take care of. You've got stuff to do, stuff that needs to get done on yourself. So some of you may be really retreating and retracting a little bit and thinking about you and where you're headed and maybe making plans a little bit. But really, it's more about the cleaning aspect, in my opinion. It's more about the cleaning aspect. And to be cognizant and be aware of the giving nature or like the fluid nature, and be careful of your ability to disillusion yourself. We all have that ability, right? So now's a good time to be honest with yourself. And if you feel a tendency to start swaying or listening to other people's opinions, and you're feeling swayed to do what they're telling you just because, I don't know, maybe it makes sense for a minute, to really make sure that you're on track and to really make sure that you're doing what's right for you and not what makes sense in the moment because someone else told you to do that, okay? Focusing a lot on your health as well. It's about mind and body and spirit this month, all right? Taking care of yourself. Some of you may want to do some cleansing, all right, in terms of, getting, I don't know, juices, whatever, eating veggies only for a while, just to kind of get your body back to tip-top shape, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. I have a new deck this month, and it's called the Hermetic Tarot deck. It's black and white, and it can maybe be a little bit difficult to see. I have kind of a weird, kind of cheap table here. I don't really have like a nice setup. It's got some like burn marks on it, but it's whatever. But hopefully it'll be okay. Hopefully you guys can see. So I'm going to turn the camera down. Okay, so here we go. Let's get started and fall down here. A little janky setup. Okay. So for Libra, beautiful, beautiful Libra. You know what I was thinking the other day when I was in Bali? I met so many Libras. So many Libras, and they are just like amazing. Everyone was just so awesome. Okay, King of Wands. Okay, now is this you or is this someone else? As the first card, I'm going to say it's you, but I may change my tune later, okay? Let's talk about the King of Wands. It's a lot of Leo energy, okay? A lot of like self or inward focus, not in the kind that I just talked about, but that more ego-driven. Doing things specifically because they make you feel good or they make you feel better, okay? But maybe not necessarily the most logical things, okay? King of Wands can be a workhorse when he wants to be, but he's also very, very big picture as well. Thinking big, thinking with innovative eyes. How can I go about making this better? How can I go about being better? How can I achieve my next set of goals as quickly and efficiently and powerfully as possible? Okay. There's a movement factor with a king because with this deck, it's Prince of the Chariot of Fire. So a chariot represents movement, you know, and it's not a stagnant, stable energy all the time. It's often en route to somewhere else. It's going somewhere else. It's about progress. It is about change. So that's what I was saying. You can't just get lazy this month. There's a lot of work to do. Work for everybody. We've got all this stuff going down in Virgo. All right? Work on relationships. Work on ourselves, on our health, on our communications, on our careers. Depending on what sign you are, it's going to affect everyone differently. But for you, it's yourself. Yourself, your health, your body, your mind. Cleaning out the basement. That's what I'm going to call it. Okay? Cleaning out the basement. And the Emperor. Well, maybe you are dealing with the fire sign after all, huh? Maybe there is someone strong. You know, this Emperor here, it's got like the cosmos in the top. Okay? You've got the access to the cosmos. Very powerful. Again, I'm going to use that word powerful. I don't know why I'm starting to use that word a lot. It's just kind of falling out of my mouth. But, you know, this is a forceful person. You may be at odds with someone that's very much like you. Okay? Or someone who is somewhat of a reflection of you in some way, because we've got the card of Aries and the card of fire, King of Fire, which is Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. So there may be a mirroring effect happening here. This person is they have a lot of strength. They have a lot of ambition and courage, similar to you as well. But they have a little bit more stability, I would say. They have a little bit more groundedness. Whether that's good or bad is debatable and is going to vary for each of you. But they do have this number 4 going for them. Number 4 is about foundation and stability and maturity as well. And having that access to the cosmos, they may be more spiritual or more spiritually inclined as well. Okay? Whether they know it or not, or whether they use that little power of theirs or not, they have access to it. And there does seem to be some tension there. I don't know exactly what's going on. When I have an emperor and a king, it often speaks to some egos clashing. And again, really ask yourself, and maybe that's kind of what's going on, is maybe there's that, am I doing something because it makes me feel better knowing that I could have this? Am I trying so hard because I know that it will just make me feel better? And is that feeling just temporary, or is it really truly for the greater good? Is it really truly for the long term, or is it just a short-term solution? You know, I'm not saying to give in, but to ask yourself what's truly important. You know, when you're down in that basement of yours, yes, there may be a beautiful painting, but if it's worthless, you know, are you going to keep it because you appreciate the beauty, or are you going to throw it out because it's not really worth it? So it really just depends on your take on it. Depends on what you're dealing with. It's going to be different for everybody, okay? And the 8 of Pentacles, the Lord of Prudence. It's a Virgo energy. Does totally not even surprise me. There's a lot of detail, all right? A lot of detail, a lot of attention to the small, mundane things. Maybe you are paying a lot of attention to the detail of someone or something or some situation in your life. Maybe you're very much focused on things that maybe don't necessarily really matter so much, you know? And because detail can be a blessing and a curse. The devil is in the details, as they say, am I right? So the more and more you focus on the small things, the more and more you drudge up the devil, right? I don't know. It's also a card of hard work. Or did I just say that? I may have just said that, but it's also the card of hard work. and you do have that. Just about focus, you know, and not really losing course, not allowing yourself to drift, Libras can be drifters. They're highly independent. Being an air sign, all air signs are very independent. Even though you do have a desire and a need for a relationship, being the ruler of the house of relationships, you do have that need, but you don't need it. You know, it makes you feel better, it makes you happy, but you don't need it. You know how powerful you are on your own. You know, you know what you're capable of. And Libra is capable of insurmountable things. I mean, there are a few signs in the zodiac that I would say that are kind of like the dark horse. And I would say Libra is one of them when it comes to career and work. It's kind of like the people that you don't ever really expect, but they're the ones staying late, working hard, getting what needs to be, the working behind the scenes. Not a huge desire for the limelight, okay? But they're the ones that really push everything through. Highly dependable people. And we've got the Knight of Wands. So we've got 3 fire signs, okay? 3 fire cards, all surrounding this 8 of Pentacles. So now I don't know if this is going to be the same person, or this is the same person, or if it's 3 different people. I'm not really getting that right now with these cards that I've pulled out. But this is the card of Sagittarius. Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, all being represented here, which means there's a lot of passion and a lot of fire, a lot of drive. So let's talk about Sagittarius for a moment, because when you think of the Sagittarius archetype, you've got philosophy and travel, long distance, expansion, you know, ruled by Jupiter. It's got mobility, flexibility. You've got loyalty, but highly independent as well. Difficult to commit, difficult to... a little bit flaky if they aren't that interested. If they're interested, they'll be there 100%. The best friends you've ever had, but they make difficult lovers, okay? They make difficult lovers. I'm going to keep pulling because I don't really quite know exactly how this is going to play out. I'm really sensing like it's like kind of like you against them. There is a little bit of a confrontational vibe, which I know is totally not your scene. Like you want to get away from there as soon as possible. Oh, sorry, I didn't pull this one up. Hopefully, I don't know. I love this deck, but I was concerned it wouldn't show well. Okay, Queen of Swords now. 7 of Cups and the High Priestess. Okay, so Libra, this is you, and this is someone else, okay? 1 or 2 people, maybe people that don't serve you so well. If you're dealing with 2 people, this is one that I would consider keeping in your life. This is one I would consider eliminating. And it's one of those things, again, where you're going to have to be really sharp. And you're going to have to be really on point. And you are going to have to stand up for yourself in spite of the fact that Mars is in this house of like hidden powers, right? So when the planets go through there, it's like they're not there. So you're gonna have to work extra hard to really draw these energies out to the outside world, because they're working effectively on the inside, but on the outside, you're gonna have to draw them out. And here we have this Queen of Swords, and she's got someone's head, you know? She's just, but she can be cruel, and this is your card. And justice can be cruel at times, you know, and you are the server of justice. And you are dealing with something difficult and something stressful and something that is like toying with your heart, toying with your emotions, toying with your mind. Like you may be dealing with someone that likes to play with you, you know, that likes to come in and come out on their own whim. You know, they like to be, it's like they just want to be present when they want to be. This is a very self-serving energy I'm feeling. I'm sensing a little bit of manipulation as well. Again, with that Neptunian energy, you're going to need to be very careful of others' power over you. And, you know, there does seem to be a breakdown of barriers and a breakdown of boundaries. So if you have a weakness for this person, this is one person. It's like they're very powerful, right? They have a vibe over you. They have something over you. What is that? I'm trying to think of my own personal life. This doesn't really apply to me, so hopefully it applies to you guys. Just don't forget where you're going. King of Wands. Don't forget where you're going. If this is someone that you've already cut out of your life and you've been working hard to keep going, you've been working hard to produce, you've been working hard to get yourself back up, you've been working hard to get to the place where you are now, which is much further than where you were a couple months ago. You've done the work. It's not fair for them to just come in and come out the way they do, you know? And for you to fight back, I suppose, and to stand firm, because see, we've got the Chariot, which means you are moving, there's movement, but then you've also got you on the Queen of Swords, the Throne of Air. What is it? Yeah, the Queen of the Thrones of Air, the goddess on a throne. So she's stable, she's firm, she's grounded, she's mature. I think there's some level of spirituality with this person. I really do. Someone that understands the inner workings of people's minds, who understands what makes them tick. It can be a little dangerous, you know. Can be dangerous. They understand how to make you tick. They understand what you are doing, what you are going through. And they can use it to their advantage if you let them. And your High Priestess is kicking in, you know. She's present. You're receiving messages from above, from the universe. You just gotta listen. I feel like I'm concerned you may get overwhelmed this month a little bit. You may get overwhelmed because maybe there is a very strong connection, or maybe there are obligations here. And because the investment is so high, and maybe you have produced a lot with this person, you know, or this situation, it's not that it's empty. It's not that there's nothing here. It's more that it doesn't make you happy. It doesn't provide peace, you know? And Libra needs peace. The emotional effects is what makes it not worth it. I feel like on paper, compatibility-wise, there are good things, you know, that it does on some level make sense. But emotionally, it doesn't make sense. And I'm saying that because of the Seven of Cups, Lord of illusionary success, Scorpio plus Venus. It's manipulative. There's confusion. There are psychological elements here, underlying undertones. This person knows what they're doing. You know that they know what they're doing. Does it serve you? This person seems to be quite aggressive, you know. And it's probably confusing because it's like, well, why would they do what they do if they weren't really interested? You know, I think what's happening is they're satisfying short-term desires at your expense, plain and simple. Satisfying short-term desires at your expense. And the blasted tower. Choice. There's a choice looming. It's coming for you. It doesn't need to be dramatic, right? It could just be something like a phone call, or you get that text from that person that didn't treat you very well, or you get, you know, news of something, and it is gonna make you, again, look inside. It's gonna make you look inside. Now, see, there's Mars up there in the corner, that symbol of Mars there. And when you think of Mars, and a lot of, I always thought of this as more of a Uranian energy, right? Something that's random and fast and brutal and rebellious. But no, it's Mars. So when you think of that, it's like it's a sign to take action. It's a sign to do something and to make revision where revision is needed. What did I say? You're cleaning out the basement, you know, and you're going to need to decide if this valuable is worth keeping or not. I'm concerned about the longevity of the situation for some of you. Okay? And it could be, you know, an issue that you guys are dealing with, right? Like it's just one thing. I'm not saying that you are all going to get divorced or you're all going to break up, but I do feel that some of you are really going to have to get a little bit harsh, okay? A little bit harsh or a little bit cold, but that is you taking action in accordance with what it is that you know is right, okay? I think some of you are dealing with an ego. I think I said that in the beginning. We all have egos, but this ego is particularly big, and they have particularly high levels of, like, you're gonna need to walk on eggshells a little bit, especially if you don't really want to hurt this person or you don't want to reject them, because the harder they fall, you know, this applies to them as well, because your actions in this moment with this particular scenario may kind of smack them in the face and be like, oh wow, like I didn't realize that they were this affected by what I'm doing. I didn't realize that they were, you know, so interested in me or so in tune with me or whatever. And so this is going to make them really think about their relationship with you as well, or their standing on this issue as well. It's not just about you, but it's going to force, it's like your actions are going to set in motion something for them as well. And it is going to be you that acts first, because I think that they're just going to be doing what it is that they're doing. But you've done a lot of work on yourself. You can't turn back now. You just got a little bit further to go. When that sun gets into your sign, you're going to feel the warmth. You're going to feel like you can breathe again, you know? You're going to feel it, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. And temperance. See what I just say? The alignment. Temperance. Daughter of the reconcilers. Reconcilement. The harmony between fire and water, all right? The yin and the yang. This person is in some way your mirror, for sure. They do bring things out in you, and they do affect you in profound ways, whether you realize it or not. But your alignment, and I'm going to be talking about alignment in all my readings, you know, a lot, you know, more often. Because it is the basis through which we make decisions, you know. It's sometimes our mind is telling us one thing, but our heart is wanting something else. So we act in the best interest of our heart, and then we get hurt. Or vice versa, we act in the best interest of our mind, and then our heart gets hurt. Well, where do we find that middle ground? Where do we find that place where our minds and our hearts are saying the same thing, so that we can act in accordance with both in order to attain the highest level of manifestation that we possibly can, right? Or to manifest the highest level of what we can. And this is going to be a little bit of a test for you, I believe, to take it upon yourself to tap into that power of yours and to acknowledge that it is in your control, and to not be at the mercy of someone else, okay? And to stand firm and sure, to be sure. Another card of Sagittarius here. Just trying to think if I'm feeling inspired to say anything, but at this time I'm really not. It's now just really going to be up to you to create balance for yourself. And in this moment, at this time, you know, it's about you. You're going to need to be a little bit more direct in your, you know, when you communicate, like, I need to do this for me, I need to figure these things out, and I need to make this decision for me, and not because I want someone to be happy with me or to like me or whatever your situation. And to be honest with yourself about what it is that they are doing and what it is that they are causing. You know, Seven of Cups, it's a very confusing place to be. It's a very disillusioned place to be. And I do feel that you will feel at some point during this month disillusioned, likely around the time of the full moon, which is right on top of Neptune opposing the sun. So there's a lot of that dreaminess and that fairy tale world and the idealism and all of this. Can't we all just get along? All this beautiful stuff. And that's going to be your biggest adversary this month, is just the energy around you of what you're being pulled to do versus what you know you need to do. Okay? But the Tower is going to come in nonetheless, and it's going to really force you to attack your new path, to go after it, to go get it, to do what you got to do, you know. So it's a blessing in disguise, okay? Alrighty, I'm going to let you go with that. I really wish you nothing but the best, guys. Really, truly. I will see you next month. Thanks so much. Bye.